Since the inserting of Jordan Mailata into the starting lineup due to injury, we've been asking ourselves for quite a while now what really happened to our first round pick invested in the trenches where he was supposed to be in continued development with the first string guys. And now I think we've been given a little more of a better answer. What is going on, everybody? Lindy End Zone back in for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Eagles, one video at a time. If you're new to my diverse fandom of the sports that I cover between the Dallas Mavs and our Bleeding Green Nation and the Philadelphia Eagles, let me know how I'm doing down in the comments. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, anything to help me help you guys as terms of better content or the algorithm of YouTube. I sincerely appreciate all the help and contributions that I've been given up to this point, and I will continue to do so to the best of my ability when it comes to content for both of my favorite sports teams. Now, today, I come across a new episode of Q&A over on Inside the Birds, where Quentin Michael and Jason Avant like to get into some pretty good detail when it comes to the Eagles football team, and they'll take some, no pun intended, they'll take some Q&A from fans over there. And I wanted to bring to light to you guys that aren't familiar with the show or don't watch the show or what have you, something that Jason Avant has said in terms of, some of the issues that Andre Dillard may be dealing with and what he's seen from his eyes while he was still a part of the coaching staff of the Eagles, more specifically assisting with the wide receivers. But in one of the questions, he was asked to touch on a little bit on the progress between Andre Dillard and Avonte Maddox. If you want to learn about Avonte Maddox, you can go over and head to the Inside the Birds and check out Q&A, Jason Avant and Quentin Michael on that episode if you wanted to dive in a little further. But I wanted to talk about this mainly because it's been something that we've been asking ourselves for such a long time in terms of like the investment that we made into a guy like Andre Dillard to help out this offensive line, and when we were in a time of need, so we didn't have to rely on guys like Jason Peters anymore, keep bringing him back at left tackle, and then we had to try to transition him to guard, and the fiasco that 2020 was, and then here, Andre goes down to injury, insert Jordan Mailata, the Australian project of the almighty Jeff Stoutland, and he looks pretty damn good. And we've been at such a crossroad between these two, and as to whether we should keep Andre or not, just because of how well Jordan Mailata was playing. So we're going to get into this a little bit here, and I want you guys to hear what Jason Avant had to say in terms, and we're gonna get into this here, and let's hear what let's hear Jason Avant's answer in terms of talking about Andre Dillard.
All right, so this is from Jordan D. He says, "Hey Jason, I wanted to see what you think of Andre Dillard and Avonte Maddox after spending time with them last year."
This is one of those questions, Q, that's kind of it's vague, and I like it. So let's deal with the first thing that I noticed with players is that they're good people. Both guys are genuinely good dudes, right? So and a lot of times we only care about the football side of it. but I think that's the prerequisite a lot of times of being just a very, productive coach or something outside of football, being a good dude. So both of them are good, come from good families, good people. Dillard was, to me, Dillard was timid. And timidity is not the greatest characteristic for the offensive line, right? And to me, he wasn't as strong as a left tackle should be because he was kind of light. He's not a big guy. We're used to man like big muscle bound guys, Jason Peters, Trey Time. These guys weigh a ton. Like, they just huge, right? So they're 350. They say on the 320 on the sheet, but those dudes are 350.
Oh yeah,
Big dude. And so you get Dillard in there that's 290, and you can just see the difference. 290, 300, 310. You can see the difference. And so I think that he has the feet, he has the get off, he has all of those things. But when you lack power and you lack aggression, it's just not a great combination for offense line. So that's my thoughts on Andre Dillard.
Well, I mean, man, I think we got our answer right there. It's especially like this is the kind of appreciation that we have for former Eagles players like this, and working in that organization, everything, and being a part of the coaching staff. It's like it's very valuable, and it does make a hell of a lot of sense. I'm not gonna lie, and I think it clears up a lot of our questions in terms on how on how sometimes players like that are interpreted, like on body language and stuff like that. And it's good, it's good to note that people in that building who were in that building, they see this, and it's I mean it makes like I said, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. You put Dillard next to Jordan Mailata, and it's not even a contest, like and having that sense of being timid, like Jason Avant was saying, how it's not good for character as an offensive lineman. I mean, yeah, there's in other words, like the opposite of that, where Jordan Mailata, it's safe to say, with a guy that's like 6'8", over like 350 pounds, and I'm taking a guess off the top of my head because I don't got the measurables up right now, but there's an intimidation factor there, and it seems to me that there's people that just don't see it with a guy like Andre Dillard, but he does go on to mention later that the one thing that Andre, the one really good positive that Andre has, to back him up, is very good footwork. But you got to be able to have, like, put two and two together. Like, you can't have one without the other, and that's probably going to be the biggest struggling point in him making an impact, and making a roster of this football team. And it's shocking to say, because we're talking about a first round pick here. But the way Jordan Mailata played, and yeah, he was a 7th round pick in his class, but Jeff Stoutland did an absolute awesome job with him, and that game time on the field is very important. And Andre Dillard has not had the chance to have that. Very little, for that matter. And the games that he played weren't the greatest. He had some good tape, and then he had some bad tape. So I mean, there's a pretty steep balance of pros and cons here. And I think this is going to be the biggest stepping stone that Andre is going to have to deal with. Like Jason Avant said, he can't be timid. We have to see what you're worth. and you have to be willing to show that. So that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for this video, y'all. I appreciate you sticking around to the end here. With that said, I'll catch y'all next time. Fly Eagles fly, bleed green. Look out for one another. Take care and see you soon.